It's rolling. All right, what's going on, good people? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm coming at you guys with an update for my ZEFRA list. This is the one that I mentioned before. If you guys kind of like pay attention to my posts on the YouTube app, I mentioned that I basically got 3rd place at the ARG Circuit Series on Sunday, and you get this map for it for making it to top 8. And then we got this also. We got some cash. You get this. And then this pin right here, this one right here. And so basically, you know, I took my Zephyrs because I'm just so confident in them. I know, like, if I take Zephyrs anywhere, they give me the confidence where I just feel like I shouldn't lose. It's not this invincible, oh, I can't lose. I just feel like I shouldn't lose. But I was the only undefeated player in the room in Swiss. So when we finished Swiss, everybody was either X1 or X2. I was the only one undefeated. Then we went into top 8. It was elimination. So I made it all the way to the semifinals, and then I lost to a major misplay where I was short 400 damage per game because I forgot that Shizuku gave me a zone to Pendulum Summon, and that just, it grinds my gears because that's like one of the worst misplays you can make. It just makes me feel stupid. But sometimes when you're playing under pressure and you're trying to calculate and make sure that your plays are proportionate enough to actually get game, you miss little details like that, and that costed me the match because I had game and it was game 3. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm going to go ahead and hop into my list, you guys. I play 60 card Zefras. A lot of people were caught off guard by it, and a lot of people just really didn't expect for it to do exactly what it did, and for it to be more consistent than the 40 card decks that they're playing, because people like have this religion where they only play 40, and if it's not 40, it's not correct. Alright, so starting off with my Anger Translator, ZEFRA, the best scale in my deck. If you guys follow me and you guys know my Zephyr deck profiles, I say the same thing about him. He's my Anger Translator. I'm not going to take too much time because I actually need to go in a minute, and I'm not trying to hold up my friend who's also recording for me for too long. But at the same time, I'm not going to rush the profile. 3 copies of Zephyr Neo. This is the Lifeblood deck. These are the most important cards for me personally. There's a lot of compact engines that kind of are implementations that have the cohesive properties necessary to basically function with the rest of the cards in the deck, so it kind of like correlates to where it's not throwing anything off, but the Zephyrs really are what's more important than anything else, and they'll carry you farther, and you can grind longer and harder with just the Zephyrs. So like, these are the best cards in the deck, honestly. And then I played one Zephyr Thubin. This card, I played a Chidraco guy who actually literally just opened up the nuts. Like, going first, he had Imperial Order, Monarch's Erupt, and he had the Maiden and the Apocalypse and a Diagram. And the only reason really why I outed that board is because I drew double Purple Poison, and then basically, like, it was crazy. I set up Purple Poison, I popped his Imperial Order, and just like cleared his whole field. But when I Pendulum Summoned, this was one of the cards I Pendulum Summoned, and just this being there, this was the reason why I was able to go for game, because I popped the Diagram so that I can attack over his monsters. So this card is really good. It just pops face ups. It seems simple, but it's just the fact that it's spot removal that's searchable in your main deck was what makes it so powerful, and it's a level 4. And then Zephyr Windy, which is probably one of the best cards going into mid to late game, just so that you can fetch the resources you need. Because sometimes you need Zephyr to send this to extra deck, and then you can normal her and get it back. So that way you don't use one of Electromite's zones to summon this, so you can summon a Jackal King and a Dark Worm instead of Zephyr Neo and a Dark Worm. So you get an extra negation just because of that. So the Zephyrs are really good. I only played 8 this time instead of 10. The other 2 just didn't really make the cut. And then from my Magicians, I played 2 Harmonizings. I played 2 Purple. I'm bumping this card up to 3. I love Purple. Purple is godly in the mirror match, in the Pendulum Mirror. I played 2 mirrors. I won both of them, and I lost the dice roll both times. And the first one, he really opened incredible, and I actually hard drew both my Purple Poisons, and it was just crazy. Like, I got to play through 3 negations without them being able to negate anything, just with the Purple Poisons after I baited the Spear. And I just normal the Purple Poison. After I baited the Spear, I normal the Purple Poison, scaled the Purple Poison, and just rammed him and crashed him. And then this effect boosted him and then popped, and then this effect boosted and popped. And I got to deal with Vortex and Don Dragster. And that just, it made my life easier. So these cards are really strong. And just keep in mind, if your opponent tries to negate and destroy this, it will go from the extra deck to the grave, but it'll still resolve. Again, it's not once per turn. So basically, this card is also another way to guarantee your scale. So what I was doing, which was really smart for me personally, I would commit my high scale first. And most people don't negate the first scale you play. They want to negate the second scale to make sure your scales don't get complete. So what I was doing is I was scaling my high scale, and then I was playing this, knowing that now my scales are going to be complete, because if they negate this, it's literally just going to waste their negate and then pop another card that would be used to negate my next skill that I play. So this card is just nuts. I don't understand why people don't think it's a good card. Just stop listening to Trip. Like, don't take every word he says like it's Jesus. Like, this card is actually really, really strong. I'm gonna play 3. I used to play 3. I don't know why I stopped. And then 1 Black Fang. Only time Black Fang was really good was when I used Shooting Rizar Dragon to send a Jackal King from my deck to my grave to make it level 1, and then use Black Fang to cut a monster in half, and then brought the Jackal King back, played another skill, put a negation on him. I was doing some nutty plays that whole tournament. Like, bro, I felt like I was on fire. And then 1 Time Gazer. This card is actually really insane on the field. There are multiple times, people forget what this does, multiple times. First time I played David Flores with Sky Strikers, and then the other time I played this dude playing Salman Greats, like this Fusion of Fire build, like he's trying to go second, where they tried to Ghost Ogre my Servant of Endymion in scale while this was on field, forgetting that it protects the scale. This card was nuts. It really was. And then 3 Chronograph Sorcerer. These are just the turbo cards. This card, just getting out Time Gazer, it lets you play through Ogres. And when you have Servant in scale, on this, you can play through Ogre on your scales, and then the Jackal King you bring out will also prevent Ogre or even like Ash Blossom and stuff like that. It's just so good. They either use the Ash or they can't after that. So it's strong. And I like Chrono a lot. Like a lot. Like, times in mirrors where my hand was godly, I would just set ZEFRA Providence, set it so that I control it, and then activate it, and when they negate it, I can resolve this. And that was a smart play. And like, I was just like, and they're trying to tell me, oh, it's negated and never hit the field. I was like, bro, I set it first, it's under my control, then I activate it. And that's how you play smart with Chrono. When you're trying to resolve it playing through negations, if you have a spell that you can set it. Don't just activate it haphazardly. Too many people do that. Like sometimes you just need to be patient and just think about what you're doing before you just rush into it, doing stuff just because you can. And then 3 Service. I resolved Service multiple times all the time going second. This card is just stupid good, especially against Salman Greats. Like, I don't care that the Balinx is engraved. I just banish the Sunlight Wolf. And I normally decide, do I want to banish Sunlight Wolf or do I need his own? And sometimes if I know I have game either way, I just banish the Sunlight Wolf, I banish the Mirage Stelio, because you can resolve this more than once per turn. It's not hard once per turn. And then you just go for the kill without even going into Borosaur. This card is so good. And they hold spell counters, which is so important for this deck, because the Endymion cards need spell counters to interact with each other, and you kind of just, you share it with the rest of your field, and normally you have more than enough. Even when I resolved Endymion against Sky Strikers in scale, and just, I won. 2 Jackal King, I think it's correct to play 2. Like, again, there was another really awesome interaction where I Dragon Shrine for Dark Worm, got gate 0. Then I Tribute Summon for this. And basically I scaled Purple Poison, and my Purple Poison was in scale. This got spell counter. So basically, and the Pendulum player that I played, he didn't open too strong. It was kind of decent. But he had what was it? He had a Vortex. That's what it was. I guess he didn't know what I was playing, because he turned 1, he did a Vortex. What was it? It was Vortex. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay, it was Vortex, Tornado Dragon, and he summoned from hand. Oh yeah, Jackal King, Vortex, Tornado Dragon. And just scaling the Purple Poison with this up, the activation, he didn't respond to activation, this got a spell counter, so I was able to clear all 3 of those threats. It was crazy, bro. Like, it was so nuts. Like, just with that, like, Jackal King Purple Poison is so good going second, just playing through negations. And then 3 copies of Servant. This card is stupid good. Like, oh my god. Electromite Turbo card that lets you put a negation on your field, provides protections for all your plays, and lets you go for OTK pushes, can attack directly. Anytime it dies, it just goes back to your scale. This card is so good. And I did play the Magister, and I did resolve it to summon another Jackal King to solidify game. It's really strong. It really is. The scale effect is also good when you get Ogred on Electromite, and you just didn't have a way to play around it. Normally, you'll still use Electromite's effect to send a valid target for this, but for example, you'll send Endymion, because when they Ogre Electromite, it still resolves. Then you just use this effect, special itself, and the Endymion that Electromite sent, and you still have a body that's really powerful and a negation, and you can still Pendulum Summon, you just don't get the zones that Electromite provided. But yeah, I think it's correct to play this card if you're just trying to splash Endymion as an engine. And then 1 Endymion itself, I resolved his scale effect more than I actually resolved his effect on field. This card was just nuts, and I was loading spell counters all day, bro. It's super good. The Mythical Beasts are so good for that, because they get 2 spell counters per spell activation. And then 2 Dark Worm and 1 Gate 0. I was considering bumping it to 3, but I actually played Dragon's Ravine, which makes my set rotation and my terraformings all 3 extra turbo cards, 4 extra turbo cards to get to Dark Worm and to make Electromite before Pendulum Summoning or Normal Summoning. And what I did also to the Salmon Great player, I did the Guard Dragon combo before I even Pendulum Summon, and I didn't Normal Summon. I got out Vortex, I got the Seal, and I got my Shooting Rizar before I even Pendulum Summon, which was just nuts. Like, this deck was just doing stupid stuff, man. It really was. And then 2 Sloth, because I like Sloth and Scale more than Lechery. Preventing searching for me is more important because in Danger Thunder, they don't play spells anyways. You need to stop them from searching. Sky Strikers can't play certain spells because they can't search. And the same applies to Salamangreats. You know, it's just, for me, it's just generically applicable. Like, some decks will automatically lose when they can't play spells, but guess what? Here's what I got for them. Secret Village. And I have 4 ways to access it. So, I already had a way to stop spells. I just wanted to stop searching. So, I like Sloth and Scale and Sloth on Field better. It's super strong, and it's a hard lock. Like, again, Strikers, it's just, they can't search, they can't summon from extra deck, and then you have a way to stop them from attacking over it. It's so good. And then 1 Destrudo. That's it for the monsters. And by the way, I played, only decks I played that day were Striker, Salamangreat, the Mirror match. 2 of the Mirror, 2 Strikers, 1 Salamangreat, and 1 True Draco. No, I'm sorry, scratch that. Because, no, yeah, that's in general, because that's including in the top 8 and everything. And then there was 1 other deck that I forgot about. Then we have 3 Oracle of ZEFRA. This field spell is the nuts. It has additional effects after it's activated, which I actually used. Like, I remember I sided in just 1 Phantasme for the Sky Striker matchup, and I stacked it on top of my deck using the Oracle, and then I drew it off of Electrum's effect to draw, and I had it in hand. So I had a field with 4 negations plus the seal, and I had this in hand, meaning I could let him summon his Sky Striker Link. I drop this, fix my hand, and now I can protect myself from his Widow Anchors and stuff like that. It was just, this field spell is really nuts. And then XYZ, draw, discard, it's so good, man. And then 3 Oracle, 3 ZEFRA Providence. When you have Servant and Scale and this will automatically put 3 counters on Servant. And it puts 2, 4, 6 counters on all your mythical beasts. This spell is probably the best one in the deck. It adds any ZEFRA card. So whenever you open this and you have a way to get Zephyrath already, like this and this, that means you get 2 Divine Strikes and they're both live, and that's 2 counter traps that negate anything. And if your opponent doesn't have reboots, they can't respond to them. And then I also played 3 Spell Power Mastery. Dude, my deck has so many like powerful starter spells. It's crazy. I played the 3 Duelist Alliance. I played 3 Pendulum Call and 3 Dragon Shrines. Like, this deck is super consistent, bro. Like, any hand that had spells was nuts. Like Alliance. A lot of people don't play this card, and like I was catching people off guard. Like for Sky Strikers, when I opened the Sloth and Scale, and then the Sloth that I shotgunned off of the Heretic Seal, I had this to prevent him from attacking over the Sloth. I just targeted his Ray, which the Ray came from Grave because I bounced his Link back, and I just killed it, and he couldn't out the Sloth, and I was just able to get game without even using my extra deck next turn. This card also is a main deck out to the field spell, that little Weenie Hut Jr. field spell that just came out in Dark Neostorm. This is a main deck out that's searchable, so I don't automatically lose just because they got to go first. But anyways, yeah, like you have all these incredibly powerful spells. Like you have so much Ash Bait too. Like Pin Call is amazing. What?
Weenie Hut.
Yeah, it's a Weenie Hut Jr. spell, bro. Screw that spell, seriously. And Duelist Alliance, also when you open with this and this. And I didn't get to play the new Pendulum Halt card because it's not legal yet. But dude, I'm putting that in this deck. But this deck has just so much consistency cards. It's crazy. Like every card paid for itself, really. And then 2 Optimus Prime. And that's what I feel like was a strength that my deck has that any other Pendulum deck that I was playing didn't have. Like, I saw multiple times, like I played Jake Zoo. He had a Servant and Scale. He could not get 3 spell counters on it because he just had to commit a Scale. Like, he played Dragon Shrine. He got a spell counter on it. Then he committed a Scale and then got 2. But he still couldn't get the 3rd one on it. But with my deck, I play so many starter spells that I can have a hand with 0 scales. And I'll get to everything I need. And, like, that's why... For me, I was loading spell counters more than anybody in the mirror match, and I was winning, losing the dice roll with no side deck cards, still breaking the boards, playing through all the negations, just playing my cards correctly. So the 2 Optimus Prime, whenever you open with Oracle, the next card I search, if I have this in Oracle, I search Secret Village. Because whenever you have a board, like I did it to what's his name, Flores, David Flores. He's a good Sky Striker player too. I had a board with 4 negations plus the disruption off the spear, and I had the field spell, Secret Village of the Spellcasters, and I left a purple poison just chilling. So, like, in order for him to out the purple poison, he either has to use a spell, which he can't do, or he has to attack into it, and if he attacks into it, I'm going to clear a card anyways. So he was locked out from spell, so half his deck couldn't even be played, and he still had to play through 4 negates, which he didn't do. And then the Foolish, Set Rotation is Godly, another main deck out to that Weenie Hut Jr. field spell. I'm not about to lose to that. It counters Evenly Match. It just gives you so much versatility for your deck, and it's a heaven sent that people are caught off guard by, because who plays Set Rotation and Pendulums besides your boy? And then 1 Dragon Ravine and 1 Secret Village. I think that it's correct in the main deck. I was going to side deck it, but I won more games off of it just being in the main deck. And just going second against Strikers, it's so free. It is so free. And what you need to do is activate it first and if they don't respond, which normally if they have a twin, they have it, but if they don't have a twin, they lose, because if they don't respond to the activation, you can then normal summon a spellcaster, and they cannot respond to the summon with the spell because the summon is successful. So unless they negate the summon, they can't be like, oh, when you summon activate Widow Anchor. You can't do that, bro. That's why you activate Secret Village first and then normal summon. If you normal summon and activate Secret Village, they can chain to the activation of Secret Village. But yep. And then the traps are 2 Divine Strike, negate anything, and it's not once returned. And then the Time Pendulum Graph, which is just crazy good. Like, bro, like, especially against Dracos. Bro, he couldn't even pop any of my spellcasters while I had this up. And he just had traps. Like, he just had traps. And I was just systematically clearing his field. Like, when he set 5. He had Diagram up, and he had Ignis Heat. He couldn't do anything to my board. I activated this on in phase, and I targeted the set. And my Purple Poison, I was under Pendulum Call, so I destroyed the set. And then I sent another set, the farthest set. I cleared Waterfall, and I cleared Anti-Spell. Then I used it on my draw phase, and I ended up clearing Monarch's Erupt and another Monarch's Erupt. I left the Diagram up because I was just going to pop it with purple. But yeah, this card is just so good, man. Seriously, it's stupid good. And that's the main deck. It's 60 cards. The side deck. So here is my theory. So I was like this. If I play combo decks, I was crazy to play Spear Mode and Lava Golem. Everybody said, oh, they conflict. You can't resolve both of them. Bro, I play 60 cards. I'm not about to RNG hoping that I draw one of a 3 of in a 60 card deck. So I need to play 6 of these, bro. Like, what's that song? Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. I'm going to play my deck exactly how I want to play it. And then, so, basically, I normally side 9 back row hate cards. So I normally play 3 of each of these. I decided today the main decks that I would be needing these for are Sound Migrate and Sky Striker. So I said, you know what? Why not just play the 3 Phantasmes in place of the 3rd copy of each of these? Give me more flexibility in other matchups and give me the higher chance of drawing into these, because theoretically, if you play 3 of each of these, you have a higher chance of drawing them. But if you play 3 of these, you have even more high chance of drawing them, because you could draw 2 to 3 cards off of it, and it protects you. It's so strong. And also, Valor and Impermanence don't work on Electrum now, so you have to have the Ogre. And if I have the Servant in scale, it's game. So yep, that's the side deck. I like the side. I didn't play matchup where I just couldn't side anything against him. And then a mirror match, when I had to basically go second in game 3, I sided in Spear Modes, Lava Golems, and Phantasme, and all I drew is Phantasme, and I still won. And then Electromite, the GOAT. We have the Heretic Seal, Agripane, LP, Triple Burst, Metaltron, and Boarsword. All I have to say is this card's probably the best link that I summoned that whole game. I recycled Electromite and used it again. It protected itself with Zephyr Providence, and I got to clear threats going second. I love Metaltron. I still play it. It's just so OP. Of course, attack Ray. Attack the link. Ray don't come out. The Guard Dragon package is just so solid. It's really strong. And whenever you have Secret Village or the Spellcasters up, this allows you to protect the lock, because in the mirror, they have to normal a Spellcaster and then try to activate spells, but you can respond to the normal by bouncing it back to the hand. Secret Village is still there. Guess what? They can't play Extenders because you negate them. They can't play Scales Pendulum Summon because they don't control Spellcaster. I was playing it smart, man. And then Synchros or Borlo Savage Dragon. Okay, I have to explain this real fast because this is actually really, really cool. So I was playing Don Dragster. I don't know how. I just literally wanted to try something really cool with this, because theoretically the combo with this was just for Black Fang. I was like, I want to really use this to send like Jackal Kings and stuff like that, so I can pop Black Fang and bring it back. So this would allow me to put another negation on board. But basically, you summon this instead of Don Dragster, and I'll tell you why it's better. And like everybody I told shot me down and like put me down about it and was like, oh no, it's incorrect, play Don Dragster. Literally, this can make Borlo Savage Dragon on your opponent's turn, which is better than Don Dragster because it can negate anything. It makes itself a level 1, which is what I do the most, but it can make itself any other level depending on what you send from your deck. But basically, what I would do is if I needed Borlo Savage, I would make it. But I would establish a board full of negates with this. And so in the middle, smart players, and this is what I had. I play a lot of good players, and I understand smart players do not play their best cards first. They save their and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hold your best cards for last. You're trying to play the first card you play, or you're trying to bait things out. So what I did against Flores, and I also did this to Sama Great player, is in the middle of them playing through my negates, as soon as I resolved Odd-Eye's Vortex Dragon's effect to negate, I, on resolution, used his effect as a level 1 tuner, synchroed with him and Vortex, and I summoned Omega. I wanted to summon Omega more than this because I could use Omega and I could snipe one of their side deck cards or the most powerful card they were saving for last. And if you summon Borlo Savage Dragon turn 1, then obviously you want to make Omega, but the point is you use Rizar to make either Omega or Borlo Savage on your opponent's turn, which is a lot more powerful, and it just catches them off guard. Like, and I was seeing it, like, I didn't see this in any Pendulum list There's no top 8 list on YouTube that I saw playing this for this interaction. I didn't see any, bro. I seen people trying to use this to make crystal. I didn't see any. Like, and that's just to clarify so you guys don't think I got it from somewhere. Like, bro, my ideas are always homemade. So making boards going first, breaking boards going second. And I resolved this to pop 4 cards. Vortex, obviously, and then we have Dweller for Salamagrates, Danger Thunder, Guard Dragons, and Orcas, and then Nightmare for the Pendulum Mirror match, and for Salamagrates, and for Danger Thunder Orcas. This card, Zoo should have read it because I just booked the whole Pendulum Summon. Like, he Pendulum Summoned 4, and I was like, Nightmare? He's like, oh, you already used it. And I was like, it's not once per turn, bro. Detach, book your whole Pendulum Summon, game. I didn't even have to waste any negates. This card is so good, bro. And, like, bro, if people were playing this, I would have seen it in top 8 deck lists and stuff like that. Like, this card is a Book of Moon that's not once per turn. My worst matchup is Thunder Dragons. Like, if I can go first and I can just book their Colossuses, I can kill them. So, yeah, that's the deck profile, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. How long is the video?
20 minutes.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And you guys have a beautiful day.